Okay, this is gonna be the last. This is gonna be the last of the Don Paterson poems that we look at, and this is called Nil Nil. And essentially, in this poem, he's gonna be talking about a football match, and he's gonna he's gonna tell the story of a sort of not really even a story. He's gonna reflect on a football match, and then he is going to go from taking that football match and what it's like to moving on to a different focus of a lone fighter pilot returning at dawn and sort of, I believe at the end the plane crashes. Yes. And he dies. Yes, good. Okay, so he's gonna basically take a football match, start here. He's gonna talk about a bunch of different things, and then he's gonna end it on a plane crashing. Okay, good. All right. So this is gonna be the last of the Patterson poems that I look at, and yes. Okay, I only have a few more texts to do. I only have a few more texts to do before I'm finished with the Scottish text collection, and then I'm gonna start moving on to other texts which are more like which are more from the overall English canon, like looking at what do I have? Like some of the Shakespeare stuff or like that kind of thing. Um if you have any, if you have any general questions about like philosophy or whatever, or any text or whatever you want me to look at, you can leave the requests, below, and I'll have a look. If you have any general kind of topics or whatever that you think might be interesting we talk about, you can leave those suggestions below as well. Okay, so we begin. Nil nil. Okay, from the top, then the zenith means the top. Top. The silent footage. McGrandle, majestic and ankle-length shorts, his gold hair. Da, 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 his balletic toe poke nearly bursting the roof of the net. So he's talking about a football match, basically. He's talking football match. Guys shot the ball. Shaky pan to the Erskine distant end when a plague of grey bonnets falls out the clouds. But ours is the game of two halves, and this is the game. The semi went on to lose. So Speaker is in the match. From here, it's all down from the first to the foot of the second. Bunch of names detaching like bubbles to speed the descent to pitch. So he's basically talking about playing a game, and it seems like the match is not like an official one or like at a club or something. It's just like with friends or something like that. Okay, pay cuts, pawn silver, the Highland division, the absolute sitters ballooned over Opal goals, the dismal nutmeg score so obscene. No respectable journal will print them. The one day, a spectacle bicycle. Besides one setback, spelling with giant killing in the cup. So again, it's like a local type of thing that they're playing in. I think I know it's the 50-year slide in Sunday League. Sunday League, yeah. So it's like a local type thing. It's not really a big deal. And again, it's a sort of another poem which focuses on something quite mundane, something quite like, in the grand scheme of things, seemingly unimportant, which fits into the same kind of themes, tone that we've looked at in the other poetry of like focusing on the mundane or focusing on things which are seemingly unimportant, being in line with the postmodern ideas. I don't want to go over all that again, but just if you look at some of the other lectures that I've done, you understand what I'm talking about. So anyway, he's talking about a bunch of his friends and they're playing the league together and whatever. Okay. Open hatchbacks parked squint behind goal nets. The halftime Satsuma, the dog on the pitch, then the boys club. So again, it's very kind of local. It's very, down to earth. People eating fruit. Halftime, there's a dog on the pitch. The boys club sponsored by Skelly's Assurance, Skelly Dry Cleaners. It's just like local shops. Then nobody. Stud harrowed pitches with 1 in 5 inclines, grandfathers and perverts on old English sheepdogs, lining the touch, moaning softly. Now the unrefereed 30 sides, terrified fat boys with calipers minding. Okay. 4 jackets on infinite notional fields. Okay, so basically what's happened over time is that the Sunday League has essentially disappeared. Sunday League's disappeared. People who used to play it have stopped playing. And now it's just a bunch of unrefereed 30 sides. So it's basically a bunch of like kids and stuff playing terrified fat boys. Grandfathers and perverts with old English sheepdog. That's a weird line. Lining the touch, moaning softly. That's a very weird line. Um, so people have moved on from the using the pitch and the Sunday league and taking it as something that they do, community activity. And now essentially it's just people that are playing like for fun. It's 30 aside. They're not taking it very seriously. They don't really have much attachment to a league or anything proper like that. It's sort of referencing the passage of time and how things disappear. Very similar to 11 Baldovan, the poem that we looked at. 11 o'clock Baldovan, where again his hometown sort of disappeared, taking something like Sunday League football and using that as a reference to how things change over time and disappear, replaced by people who don't really care about it too much. And also he mentions perverts, weird people. So he's obviously not too happy with that change. Four jackets on infinite notional fields, so basically people using their jackets as goalposts. 10 years of dwindling half-hearted kickabouts leaves two little boys who answer to 40 and we are so smelly the air seems to cover above him. So again, the place has become kind of derelict. The people who are playing there are kind of poor. In the hour before lighting up time, Alistair cheats and goes off with the ball, leaving wee Horace to hack up a stone. People who are playing there now are not exactly the best of character or something like that, if you want to say. One boy is kind of smelly, and the other boy is a cheater. Dribble at home in the rain, past the stop swings, the dead shanty town of allotments, the black shell of Skelly Dry Cleaners. So you remember he mentioned Skelly Dry Cleaners was one of the sponsors at the beginning, but now Skelly Dry Cleaners is dead. It's a black shell, meaning maybe it's been burned down or either it's just disappeared. So it's a slow disappearance of the community, slow disappearance of the people who used to live there and play the football, and the slow sort of dying and death of all those things into his cul-de-sac where accidentally he neatly backheels into straight into the gutter and tries to swank off like he meant it. So sort of a pessimism in this poem, a sort of negativity and a slow dying of everything has crept into the place that used to be very exciting, very fun, very lively, full of people who are connected to each other, friends and all that. Everything is slowly being destroyed, slowly dying to the point that the boy who cheated and took the ball has now put it into a gutter, meaning he's put it into a very disgusting place with the water drains. He's lost his ball basically, and he's pretending like he meant to do it. He kicked his ball into a gutter, into like the place where the trash and all that goes, and the rubbish goes. And now he's lost his ball, like I said. So it's like the slow spiral down of the community, essentially. Unknown to him is all that remains of a lone fighter pilot. What is the guard? Unknown to him is all that remains of a lone fighter pilot who returning at dawn found lookers was not really left at. Took time to watch the Sidlaws unsheath from their great black tarpaulin and the Har burn off Tapeport and Venus melt into Carnoustie, igniting the shoreline. No wind, not a cloud in the sky. So basically, again, things have disappeared. Things have changed. Venus melt into Carnoustie, igniting the shoreline. No wind, not a cloud in the sky. No one around to admire the discretion of his unscheduled exit. No one around to admire the discretion of his unscheduled exit. No one's around anymore. The place has died. The place has disappeared. Would not re-engage. The engine plopped out and would not re-engage, sending him silently, twirling away like an ash key. His attempt to bail out only partly successful yesterday, having been the 1st of April. The ripcord unleashing a flurry of socks like a sack's full of dovens. Someone has played with his parachute, has played with his escape mechanism, and they've destroyed his parachute basically. Someone, because April Fool's is April 1st, sack full of doves rounded up to the heavens in a private Aeronicon. He caught up with the plane on the ground, so plane crashed. Then he crashed to the ground after because someone replaced his parachute with socks and he destroyed his parachute. Made nothing of him save for his fillings, his tackets, his lucky half crown, and his gallstone now anchored between the steel bars of a stank that looks to be biting the bullet on this one. So again, the boy who kicked that ball into the gutter, there was a plane that crashed, and I think pieces of this man had crashed and fell into that gutter sometime before, something like that. Okay, so basically it's just again pure sort of negativity, pure spiral downwards. Everything is gone bad. The community is sort of bad, and the pilot died here. In short, this is where you get off, reader. I'll continue alone on foot. So the speaker is breaking the fourth wall here, addressing the reader directly. Yeah, I'll continue alone on foot in the failing light, following the trail as it steadily fades. As it steadily fades, failing light steadily fades. Again, negativity, negativity, negativity. Into road repairs, birdsong, the weather, nirvana. Nirvana meaning, what is nirvana? Nirvana, I believe, is like sort of supposed to be the place of complete enlightenment, like heaven, something like that. The plot thinning down to a point so refined, not even the angels could dance on it. Goodbye. So again, sort of very postmodern type of writing, very negative type writing, pessimistic type writing. Someone died, kid got his ball stolen, community disappeared. The end. That's it. So anyway, I don't really have too much more to say on this. A lot of the things which I've said in the other lectures from Paterson. So that's the last Paterson poem. Overall, it's a mixed bag. I think some of the poetry was weird, like the one about his son, very weird. But some of the other poems were good in terms of sort of opening up, you know, being doorways to questions, philosophical questions, which I think were quite useful, quite good. Um, but that's it. Yeah, I don't really want to go into too much more depth with this. I think we'll stop there. Again, if you have any kind of specific questions about any topics or anything sort of you'd like me to cover or anything, any text or whatever that you'd like me to cover. If you have any questions in general, advice or whatever, not that I have like, all the answers or anything, but in any case, what I'm saying is I'm kind of open to, more uh being a bit more interactive in terms of what you might want to know about or learn about or have me make videos about. So you can just leave them sort of below. But that's it, yeah. So we're done with the Patersons. That's good. And all right.